Revenge is a dish best served cold. That's what the title of her video should have been called. Hey guys, hey new subscribers. So, we've all established by now that Blake Lively is so out of touch because of the shallow way she responded to serious questions of difficult topics like domestic. If you don't know which interview I'm talking about, I made a short about it if you want to check it out. But of course, the Blake Lively fans clapped back and defended her by saying she's not a real-life victim of domestic. So you can't really expect her to know what to say.
Maybe.
Empathy negates that notion, but I digress. That is until an interview from 8 years ago resurfaced. The title of that interview was The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job. If you thought that was clickbait, unfortunately, it's not. So let's watch this interview together and break it down. First things first, this was an interview for the movie Café Society. The first red flag about this entire thing is that she willingly chose to star in a Woody Allen movie. You know, Woody Allen, the man who married his adopted daughter of a 35-year age gap, with speculations and court cases of sexual assault. Nobody in the entire freaking world could make me work for such person.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
So tasteless.
And these, they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you.
What was she trying to establish? That she's a die-hard feminist or something? Like, did Blake Lively genuinely assume that she was fat-shaming her? She had publicly announced that she's pregnant. She was actually 6 months pregnant at that time, so her baby bump was definitely visible, and that poor interviewer was literally just congratulating her. But in a way, she managed to twist it and turn it into something offensive. I thought the being offended by literally everything movement happened around like 2020, and that was like 2016. Way ahead of her time. There was an inexplicable sadness because unfortunately this interviewer is actually infertile and will not get a chance to have a little baby bump, which makes Blake Lively's remark a million times worse.
Thank you.
Are
You
you
like the
gonna-
movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so like visually amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, working in
Everyone
digital.
wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's
He has some
suits and
beautiful,
how
that's what I'm
he
saying. His
chose
wardrobe
it.
was
Oh, I
beautiful.
know,
Corey's
everybody.
wardrobe
I
was
know,
gorgeous.
he's
Those
so great.
high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I wish men
And
wore
sorry,
high-waisted
too.
pants
I
like
know.
that still.
Me
Or,
too.
or their father with his.
They're not
with his-
even looking
his
at her.
tank top
Oh,
and
it's
hood.
so
Just
good.
like- it's just like
Did you
that,
catch
you could
the,
feel
the
it.
tablecloth?
She's like, kill me now. Please kill me now.
Restaurant and eat spaghetti
I didn't
and
notice that. No.
But
She's
there's so
questioning
much
her life
warmth in
choices.
Everything, you know.
Yeah.
This is Mean Girl 101. I don't know if anybody noticed, but when she first asked the question, Parker Posey actually wanted to reply to that question like a normal person. And then Blake Lively immediately intervened. She's the head mean girl, took control of the conversation and was like, you know what? Do you think they would ask the men about the clothes? Is it just because we are women we get asked the shallow questions? It's a period piece. Café Society was set in the 1930s. The fashion, the entire aesthetic of that movie was center stage. Mind you, the interviewer was actually working for Elle's online media outlet. If you know anything about Elle, I don't think their questions would revolve around, I don't know, the geopolitics of that era. It's gonna revolve around fashion. The interviewer was just doing her job. By the way guys, if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. This helps boost this video and helps me figure out the next topic I should break down next.
It's not just the women that have the clothes.
But
I feel like the women
Victoria-
get the conversation, but it's like,
Yeah.
I like the interviewer when she responded like, yes, I would still ask the men the same question.
it's like
Yeah.
Not
every
even one word
detail
in
with
for the
everybody.
interviewer.
Yeah,
It's so,
it was
so
amazing
beautiful.
to look at.
Sleeves,
And then to see
white
it.
suits.
Yes.
And then you notice in LA, like everybody's in cream colors and all the men are wearing
Trying to
white
hide
and
her
cream.
laughter.
You get to New York and it's a little bit more browns and moodier. And Susie really told such a story
Yeah, amazing.
alongside Vittorio, because it is a lot brighter and sunnier in LA, and New York has just this steaminess to it.
Obviously, she was trying to fish out like a girl boss moment, you know, which she could go viral for. Obviously, it didn't work out in her favor back then, and boy, did it take a wrong turn right now. And to make things obscenely worse, they kept talking with one another without making eye contact to make it visibly obvious that they're shunning her, they're excluding her, which is full blown out bullying. And to be fully honest, that kind of gave me PTSD, because that interviewer almost quit her job because of that interview, when in reality, I actually did quit my job for the exact same behavior while I was working as a medical representative. After waiting 6 hours for that doctor to see me, bearing in mind I actually took an appointment. She actually gave me an appointment at a specific time to see her. And after all that time, when I entered into her office, she started talking with her secretary, mocking and demeaning medical representatives in general, while I was standing there without even looking me in the eye. Honestly, at that moment, I felt like a fucking fly. No, a fly really had more power than I did. A fly could have annoyed her with its buzzing. No, I just stood there and just absorbed all that bullying. And right then and there, I decided, like, I'm not gonna stay in this job for one more second. And that's when my life really turned around. I quit my job and actually pursued my lifelong dream of becoming a vet. So I think in retrospect, it all worked out in the end for me. But point is, it is heinous people like this who actually change something in you. And sometimes, if you're not strong enough, it could really derail your life to the worst.
Dismiss each of their characters, you know,
Right.
but to see what a
Even
heart and
right
soul
here,
each
she's
of them
still
has
not looking at
is
her.
nice, and it's something that, you know, that's the thing.
See?
You know, as far as like relating to it personally, that you see, you know, you have these ideas of people that you're fans of, and then you meet them and get to know them as a person, and oftentimes you're such a greater fan of them as a person than you are as the person. that you
Finally,
feel
eye
like they
contact
know,
for
and
a
that's always,
glimmer of a
that's always
second.
nice and refreshing when,
Yeah.
when you see that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, what do you feel like is the biggest misconceptions about fame and Hollywood in general?
I think the idea that people think that they know you, I think because of the how intrusive media is these days, there's people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they
Funny,
just make it
right?
up for you and
Ironic.
share it for you. So I think the biggest misconception I see often is people feeling like they know someone that they don't, because they know what the media has created of someone. And the disappointing thing is when you meet the people, they're always so much more awesome
Yeah.
than they're portrayed to be. I mean, that's normally my experience. And even people that are portrayed to be really great people, they're
Other
just
way around.
a lot more complicated and
In your
interesting
case.
and nuanced and caring and thoughtful. And that's always nice, you know, to see that your idea of someone isn't always who they actually are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Wow, your idea of someone isn't always what they actually are. That aged like fine wine. But you didn't, Blake. You didn't. And you know what's funny is that there weren't men around. If they were in a setting where the male actors and the female actors were in the same room, and the men were asked deep, thought-provoking questions while the women were just asked about the wardrobe, I think there's a chance that her response would have been valid. But there weren't any men around. And the way Blake Lively and Parker Posey just went back back and forth, back and forth. Like, they understood the assignment. They knew what they were doing. So it's definitely an innate kind of behavior. You know what I mean? They've done it before. That's why they swiftly picked up on each other's bullying energy. Aside from her Gossip Girl era, I've always associated Blake Lively with Ryan Reynolds. So in a way, she was likable by extension, because when she was portrayed as a duo with her husband, who's very likable. And now I'm basically seeing her as Blake Lively, the actress. And boy, am I not a fan. Because how vain can someone be to actually promote their hair care line and her husband's alcohol line? Out of everything, alcohol, which is one of the reasons why domestic violence gets triggered. No words. So this is it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and as always, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe, and if you'd like to support me on Patreon, make sure to hit that Patreon link. See you next time. Bye.